Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Break it down. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Somebody gotta scream and be like,
It's a happy birthday to you.
you got somebody got
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, I want to welcome y'all to the New Views, New Heights book release and birthday party. Clap it up. So I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about what's going on today before we bring up our author and birthday woman and celebrate her. So New Views, New Heights. In this book, Janavian A. Young delves into self-discovery and personal growth. The book highlights recognizing one's strengths and weaknesses, breaking out of comfort zones, and relying on faith to navigate uncertainties. It encourages embracing individuality, living authentically, building meaningful connections, and practicing gratitude for a fulfilling life. This book includes a carefully curated soundtrack that offers lessons and messages that have brought her insight, inspiration, and joy. These songs were strategically chosen and embedded within the book to enhance the storytelling and provide a more immersive experience for the readers. Plus, it got a QR code right there on the inside. I've been bumping this track list all morning. All right. So, without further ado, let's bring our author and birthday woman to the stage. I want y'all to make some noise for Janavian Young. All right, so first and foremost,
Check. Y'all can hear me?
yes.
Cool. Thank y'all for coming.
So first and foremost, Janavian, tell the people a little bit about you and why you decided to create this book, New Views, New Heights.
Well, I feel like I've always been an artist. I've just been on a journey of trying to figure out what that meant in totality, and this is just a part of my journey. Writing, I feel like, has also always been inside of me, but I didn't know what that looked like for real, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it went from like songs to like poetry to like just writing in my journal, different things like that. But the book, I just felt like I had to write it. It wouldn't leave me alone for like 5 years. I felt God like, hey, you gotta do this. And I didn't know what it looked like, but we here now.
Okay. So you talked about you did a few different mediums of art. So I noticed too in the playlist when I was like going through the songs, I saw some dance in there too. So like it was a video. You made the playlist. Video you in there dancing. I said, okay, she wanted us to see the moves. Oh, so what different kinds of art are you in? We know you're an author, right?
Yeah.
You talk about music. What are some of the other lanes of art that you create?
Dance. I've been dancing since I was like little. Like, I don't know. My mom probably knows a little bit more about when, but ever since I can remember, really. And it's something about music when you hear it and you feel it in your body. You can't not do something about it. So it was like that was my way of expressing myself and releasing in the most authentic and creative way at that time. So I had a lot of fun morning skate rings, all night skate. You turn them skates in and the floor becomes a dance floor. So we had a lot of dance battles.
Did you ever imagine like you were gonna be like now an author?
Never. It's same with trucking, driving trucks. Like I didn't think I would be driving trucks, you know. But that's just the power of like God being the ultimate author of like your life and how you may look at life and envision your life to be a certain way, but he be like, nah, I got something you probably won't even ever imagine, but yeah.
So tell me, like, I know we've seen, so I've been following your journey since we met back in 2018 at Black Market, right? You were telling me then that you have wanted to just personally help people share stories, tell stories. How do you feel like that life journey kind of led you to this book?
Well, first, I think it's important to understand the power of environment, and so put myself in spaces around people that were doing some of the things that I enjoyed, or that I just strictly admired or just respected. And so poetry goes back to writing. I love that. I mean, what is music? It's poetry in motion. We hear that a lot. So put myself in spaces with other artists that I can take things from, and it ultimately help me to believe in myself and pursue this.
Okay. Who were some of those artists that you had that were like influences? Don't do that. Don't do you.
Let me tell y'all, so we was at Black Market, and we met through a mutual friend at this poetry event, and it was probably like 10 of us that went out to get something to eat after this event. So everybody went around the table and talked about the things that they were interested in, the things that they had going on, and the things that they wanted to do in the future. And so he said what he was trying to do, and then I said what I was wanting to do, and we kind of had this moment. It was probably like 2 or 3 people in between us. We kind of had this moment where we leaned up and looked at each other and locked eyes like, hey, we're gonna work together, but we didn't know what it was. And so probably like a few months later, he did like this poetry slam in Houston. And at the time, going back to the different forms of things that I like to do was videography. So I was like, let me just kind of like tag along, and I put myself out there to just film him. Now he'll try to water himself down, but this dude like was acclaimed 3rd in the world for poetry 2018. I didn't know that, but just getting to know him, like I just love like seeing him on stage. So I was like, let me just film this road trip. He was like, all right, I got a tour in California for like a month. I'm like, this guy. But anyway, he's one of the people that just inspired me, because I saw him doing the things that he loved to do. And then he invited me 2 months later to go with him to New York for a week. He paid for everything. So it was just like, yo, he different, you know what I'm saying? But just like his heart and his love for what he do made me kind of like dig into myself and discover that, because we all here for a reason. We all here and have things inside of us that nobody can do, even your fingerprint. Like nobody has the same fingerprint. So it's just like, okay, somebody may be doing this, somebody may do that idea, but it's like you got a different kind of sauce you can put on it. It's just gonna be different. So yeah, he one of the people. Akila is one of those people I end up meeting. So more of the story is back to the environment, like the people that you're around matters. And so, yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. You know, you dope. I want to ask you a little bit more about that environment piece too. You talked about like, you know, myself, Akiva, Eric, yeah, Jada,
yeah, the whole Flourish family.
I was gonna ask you about that. So that's your bumper tag now, or your license plate got Flourish on there. Tell me what like your time with the Flourish, like how that influenced the book as well. Like working, you know, we traveled, not just for like the personal art piece, but then when we were working specifically in Birmingham, and the work that you did there. A lot of the videos that y'all see, for those of y'all who know of the Flourish, all of our student recaps, all that educational programming, Janavian was the eye behind and capturing all of that and creating those memories that we still use to this day. So how did that time kind of influence then, influence the creation of the book as well?
Hey, keyword, environment. That's my landing spot right there. Also, I think going into these different schools and seeing the passion in these kids' eyes, it's like, it made me think about how, like, when we were younger, before life happened, how we dreamed big and had all these different things that we wanted to do. And then you get older and you see that life is really nothing like you thought it was gonna be, and that you gotta do all this and do all that, and really figuring it out. Like, somebody can give you what, you know, is deemed to be a roadmap, but it's you still on your own path and like figuring out what that is for you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that seeing those kids look at us and be like, yo, like, it's people out here that still doing art, made me wanna like tap back into myself and pick up those pieces that I probably put down and place to the side because I was so focused on life and bills. And you know, you have this vision of where you want to be at a certain age. By 30 I want to be here, 35 I want to be here, 40, and you're not there. So you fight with these different thoughts and different things like that. But yeah, I think back to the environment, those kids and seeing them, it helped that too. Like,
yeah.
let me get back in my bag, because we in here telling them to believe in themselves and that they can do it. We got all these dope artists coming in with these different programs. We got Gene back there, like, you know, he's showing up and they seeing like, oh man, these people are doing this full time, and it is possible. It's like, dang, you know, let me sharpen up myself and like do some of this stuff that we're teaching them.
Yeah, and I like the phrase you used. You said, let me get back in my bag. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the in the bag moment, right? Because now we have this completed book, right? We got it at the table, you know, we can flip through it and we can see all of the different pieces that are in here. But what was the process of deciding what was going to go into the book and actually writing the book? Was this you sat down every day and just wrote every day, or what was that process? How long did it take to write this?
Honestly, it took about 5 years, and most of it was me being in my head and me being fearful. The other part of it was like not knowing exactly what I wanted to say, because I wanted to talk about some of the things that I have experienced, but I never really wanted the book to be about me. I wanted it to be about helping other people. And I saw like just a common thing where people kind of just get stuck in like certain cycles, me included, we all do. But how do you grab these different pieces and like continue to move forward? And so I took journal entries. I would write down conversations that inspired me over time. I would write down dreams that I had. I would listen to a song, and maybe something in that song made me think like, that is what I needed to hear. Because songs are like so powerful. That's why it was important for me to put a soundtrack with the book, because you hear songs and a lot of times they articulate things that you can't articulate yourself. And that's why they just like move you so much. And so it took a while because I was trying to figure out how do I put all this in one. And so I started overthinking because I'm like, this is not gonna be like a regular average book. I don't know how to do this, you know. And then back to the fear piece, every other thing or endeavor that I did, I didn't really think too much about it. I didn't really have a mental battle inside or what I could do it. I just did it. Even if I failed, I just did it. But with the book, it was like an internal war, like a spiritual war. Like, and I'm like, okay, God ain't give me fear, so this from something else. So I gotta write the book now because like it's a reason that I'm being fearful and I shouldn't be fearful. So yeah, it just took a process. It took a process.
Yeah, Derek, can you turn the gain down on mine a little bit? Thank you. So another thing that I'm wondering too, you're talking about like this process of overcoming the fear, and you talk about how this book, you didn't want it to be about you, right? Tell me like who this book is for. Like who would be the perfect person that is like, oh yeah, this right here, this book is for you.
I think really anybody. I think we all need to be encouraged at some point. We all need to be motivated. We all want to be seen. We all want to be reminded that we're loved, that we're not forgotten, that we matter, that we're significant, that we have purpose. So I feel like my book is really for anybody. It's an easy read. It's not really like a novel type of book. Every page has something different on there. So you may read a couple pages today and then put it down, digest it a little bit, and then you may pick it up tomorrow and continue. But it's really for anybody. I feel like we can't have flowers without rain, and sometimes we just get stuck in like, even it rained today, like, and sometimes it'll slow you down, but rain is not meant to keep you stagnant. You may have to take another route. It may take you longer to get to the destination, but that rain is necessary for growth. And same way with obstacles and things that we experience in life are necessary for our growth. And so that's why I feel like the book is for everybody, really.
I love that. Like I was able to read through the book. I was the first draft, and then this version here, and I say like, I remember reading it, and I would like get to a point, I might read one passage or two passages, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's all I need for the day. Like that right there, I can't even take no more. This is the word that I needed, you know, for that specific day. What was like the process of like deciding this is a novel, this isn't gonna be a novel? Like how did you order things in the book? Because I noticed, yeah, it doesn't read like I just sit down and read this like, you know, I can't think of any random Stephen King novel. You know, it's a different type of book.
I think I honestly was trying to figure that part out. I still don't know if it has an order, but I will say that I was very intentional on kind of starting off with some of the things that I felt like had me stagnant, or things that may have broke my heart, or things that I didn't understand in the beginning. But then we kind of end up more on a high note of like the things that I've learned and the things that I can take away to move forward in life, no matter what come my way.
That's amazing. I wanna point out a couple more features of the book and ask you about them, if that's okay. The first being, I know the first page when we start off, we get the soundtrack, right? This is the first time I've read a book that had like a soundtrack paired with it. Like, can you tell us about your motivation behind that and a little bit about the soundtrack itself?
I'm gonna just read this right here as my answer. Music can heighten tension, invoke deep emotion, and provide rhythm to the narrative flow. it's not just a background element, but a key component that enhances storytelling, making the experience more immersive and impactful. And I was inspired through just movies. Like, you don't need a soundtrack for a movie, but if you think about movies without it, it's just kind of like, it's like, dang, that's kind of crazy. Because the music does enhance the different scenes and moments, even if they're not singing, like just that background noise. You watch a scary movie, you can have your eyes closed and certain sounds just kind of like, you can picture what's happening. I really wanted to put that in there because of that. Also, music is influential and powerful. The songs were strategically chosen and embedded in this book, offering lessons and messages that have brought me both insight, inspiration, and joy. So when we talked about earlier, just like some of the things that I incorporated in the writing process, music was a part of that. So some of them pages are literally music lyrics, you know what I'm saying, artists and different songs that have inspired me. And so I just had to. I was really like, this gonna be different. It's just gotta be different. But yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna say that in the pages, I noticed like there were different moments where we got quotes from musicians and lyrics from songs. I know that this will be a performance later, but I remember this specific passage. I'm gonna ask you a little bit about this one too. But the title of this passage was "Chill, Just Vibe," and you have taken some lyrics from Dave Da Vinci. But I love that at the very end you said, "Bro was sliding on this. Only 21 years old and already super wise beyond his years," and then in all caps, "crazy." I was like, I felt like it was almost you were like breaking a fourth wall in terms of like, you wasn't trying to like sound like, you sounded like a friend. You sounded like you were just talking to us and you were with us like in the book. Like, what was the behind, like the motive behind it? Because it's like you just talking to us.
Because that was my literal thought when I listened to it. Like every time I listen to it, I just be amazed and I catch something different every time I listen to the song. But I was just like tripping at the fact, well, not like surprised, you know what I'm saying? Because you can learn if you watching cartoons, their messages are cartoons. My baby cousin, she 3. If you listen to her long enough, you will learn something from her too. So I feel like you can learn from pretty much anybody if you really paying attention. But it was just like, dang, like he just had so much wisdom and just understanding that it was almost like he was talking to me like in the conversation. Like like in the song, he like, chill, just vibe. Like, why you doing so much? Like he literally say that in the song, why you doing so much? Chill, just vibe. So I'm like, dang, like in the song he said in like in the conversation, but it's just a reminder to me that you know, with faith, yeah, you're gonna have human moments where you naturally worry, and you shouldn't beat yourself up for that. Yeah. But at some point, you gotta be like, all right, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. What I was worried about yesterday is not my worry today. You know what I'm saying? And so if he did it, then he'll do it again. So I just gotta keep doing my part, keep showing up, and keep believing that he gonna make sure I'm good. So I ain't gotta worry about nothing.
I love that. I got a couple more, and then I'm gonna open it up for the audience to ask any questions that they have. But the next question I want to ask you is also really specific to some of the text that we see in the book. I think of, and I'm gonna read this prompt. This was one of those ones as well as when I read it, I was like, okay, that's all I got for today. This is gonna be the one I read for the day. It's called Discovering Your Gift. And it's just a series of questions. And it says, What is something you can do with the least amount of effort? What types of help do others tend to ask you for? What brings you joy to do? What would be your dream job? It is important to look for where you love the process over the results. And when I read that, I said, ooh, okay, let me stop. let me read through, ask each one of these questions, and just keep this in mind. What are some of the key takeaways you want people to walk away from when they read this book?
God doesn't make mistakes. He's intentional, and I feel like it's important to understand that you just matter. I think we just sometimes we forget, like, because life will have you feel like you drowning sometimes and nobody see you and you don't know how you're gonna get out of that. And so I feel that it's important to focus on the things that energize us, the things that fulfill us, keep us recharged, keep us just like, you know what I'm saying, able to just get up and go, because you're gonna get tired. You're gonna have them days where you just like, I ain't got it, and that's cool. But what systems do you have in place to where you can tap into that to give you that, you know what I'm saying, that extra push for that, at least for that day, because it's a moment by moment thing. All the time, we don't even be thinking what's going on in 6 months, what's going on in a year, because that's how the anxiety comes.
Yes.
And then when you think about depression, it's when you're living too far in the past. I think anxiety is living too far in the future. So sometimes you have to lock in on what you can control. And I feel like when you talk about your gifts, if you focus on that, and writing is that for me, music is that for me, helping people is that for me. If we look into that, I think it just give you, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't really put it into words, like, you just feel like, okay, I can do this, I'm all right. But yeah, the gifts, let me see that. What's something you can do with the least amount of effort? A lot of times I give and people like trying to discover their purpose. It's like, most of the time stuff you do that you ain't even paying attention to that you do because you do it so well. You like, don't nobody care about that. Like, I just be, you know what I'm saying? I just be doing this. It is what it is. Now, I'm gonna just use this for example. Now, shout out to my auntie for doing my hair. She went crazy, but she's not a hairstylist necessarily. She don't want to do this for a living, but she's naturally good at it. So it's like you can lock in and tap into some of the stuff that just come natural to you, and like it may not be hairstyling, but it may be something in that general area. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta lean into that a little more. So and then one more, what types of help do others tend to ask you for? Like, man, you just gotta lock in. You just gotta lock in.
I'm gonna ask you a little bit of a tougher question. So now you have this physical copy here, New Views, New Heights. How has this book changed you?
Ooh. I feel like this book honestly has given me more of a confidence than I had before, because you gotta think when you so much in your head before you actually do something, and then not just doing it, but like, I'm gonna put this out into the world, and I don't know if people gonna receive this. I don't know if people gonna understand where I'm coming from or not. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. So getting over that too, I'm finna just put this out because this does something to my soul. I feel like after being on the other side of it, it gives me more of a drive to push other people into that, because you just gain such a, what they call a Godfidence. It's like God and your confidence to just do whatever. And it's like, it starts like this domino effect because you don't know if you ready to write another book, which is, I'm already thinking about ideas for another book, but it's like, okay, do I go from like book to brand? Like, do I drop some merch? Do I start getting a website? Do I want to do speaking engagements? Next week I actually have my very first podcast interview in Atlanta, for the book. So like, it's just things like that made me say, dang, so I just needed to do this, and now all these different doors opening, and it's just the beginning. So I would say it has impacted me to be more confident in what I feel like God gave me just naturally. And I have to just trust that and let him do whatever he's gonna do with the rest.
I love that. Now what I want to do now is I want to open up the questions to the audience. I would love for y'all to ask y'all's questions. Are you gonna be doing a wireless there?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So if you do have a question, please raise your hand. We will bring you a mic. Okay, we'll start right here. We've got two in the front row. Keith. Right here on the
Do you remember your first journal entry and what it was about and what age?
I do not remember my first journal entry, but I will say that, what is this, it's 2015, it's 2025, I would say I started journaling around 2010. So it's just been a journey of like all types of stuff. But I cannot specifically remember the very first entry.
Like nothing as far as hurt or pain or just something that said, I need to write this down or get this out of my mind.
I would say, so I give you some. I had a crazy dream when I was young. That it like kind of made me rethink like my identity and like my significance, and so it made me like feel as though I had to persuade people in a way to see me, to accept me, to embrace me. And so that dream I do remember specifically writing down, and it just became like a journey of like continuously write down my thoughts, my experiences, because I felt like that was helping me unpack a lot of stuff, helping me heal, helping me accept certain things, helping me just see myself in a different way as I continue to do it. So yeah, that journey for sure.
Yeah. You get my grandbaby since your mama had you. And you have so many talents. I'm proud of all of them. But what I wanted to know is with all those talents that you have, when you think you dance, you can sing, you writing now, you drive trucks, you just have so much that you can do. So do you think if you will focus mainly on writing, or you still tap into some of those other extracurricular activities?
I think that I'm planted on the edge of only God knows.
Okay.
So whatever that looks like in the future, I feel like because I have them, I'm gonna be using all of them at some point at certain times. I just don't know how, when, where, but I'm not gonna place nothing that's inside of me to the side. I'm gonna use it all. But right now, I'm definitely focused on this, because this was something I definitely didn't see coming, especially from journaling. Like, I'm just unpacking, but I'm talking about from all these different things that I've learned and experienced through life to being in a book, I didn't see it. So I'm trying to ride this wave of writing.
Well, you got a good lead. You let God lead you. You got it.
Yeah.
Other questions? I see a hand back there.
Also, when you all ask questions, try to hold the mic closer to your face. All right, thank you.
What was the what's the word I was saying? What was the step of approval, if I would say, for you to actually write the book? Like, I know you probably had thoughts, but what was it that made you say, like, okay, I'm about to write this book right now, like today, start? What made you do that?
Are you asking like what made me stop overthinking and actually really do it?
Yes.
Like I said, it wouldn't leave me alone, and I felt like I ended up procrastinating a lot because I was fearful. And I'm like, I shouldn't be scared to write this book. So I gotta write it because I've been sitting on it too long, and you end up asking God or praying or just trying to figure out what's your next thing you're supposed to be doing. And it's like, well, you didn't write the book yet, so I don't know what you're asking me what you need to be doing. So it was that. And I just gave myself a time frame for last year to get it done. And I said, I cannot leave 2024 without finishing this book. And so that was my time stamp. And I literally printed the first draft copies out January the 3rd, but I just had to get it out because people be thinking about New Year's resolutions, like, what have you did this year? You know what I'm saying? Have you done anything this year? So I wanted to have something to be proud of in terms of myself when I look in the mirror, and even the things that I pray and talk to God about. I just, I wanted to do my part. Yeah, so.
I got one more. What's the favorite part of the book and why?
Let's see. I feel like my favorite part of the book is the soundtrack. I just love music so much. Like even this morning when I woke up, I was listening to the soundtrack because there's no song on it that I hate. Like I made a soundtrack that it makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes me like, okay, I'm ready to get the day started. Like I'm hyped. I'm singing loud, rapping loud, all that dancing. I'm doing it all. So like the soundtrack would be my favorite part of the book. And I get to reference some of the artists that I really admire and enjoy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Gene?
Alright, so I'm gonna piggyback off of that question. And it's a two-part question. So, being that everything is completed now, I want you to go back and picture yourself at day one, blank page, no words on the screen, right? What is the thing that you would tell yourself on the other end of it now? And secondly, what's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself with publishing a book for the first time?
So what would I say to myself day one? It would probably be just not overthinking. Just not overthinking, because really and truthfully, the book was 80% done because I took a lot of journal entries and stuff that I had already written down. All of them weren't my ideas. Like I said, it was things from like conversations I may have had to dreams to, oh, I went on this trip, or there is literally a page in the book titled October 10th, 2020, where I was with Jamon and Eric. We was leaving, doing this school program. And so I wrote down what happened that day, but there was a lesson in what happened that day that made me journal and write that down, and I put that in the book. So I would say that it would be just like not overthinking, and what I've learned from just completing the book would be that everything that I need in terms of like creating is already on the inside of me. I just have to trust that, and I have to trust the creator to create, because it's already in me, you know. It's in my DNA. I'm made in the image of the ultimate creator, so I can create, and I just have to, just trust that. So yeah.
While I got the mic, I just want to say congratulations and happy birthday. We love you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I see one. Oh, yeah, right there.
What's good?
So
I got a question about, are there any authors that inspired you to write, or any books that inspired you, to kind of be an author yourself?
Yes, I would say Young Pablo is like one of my favorite authors, and then I would say again back to environment, the people around you. My mom is an author; she wrote her 3rd book. Jamon's an author, so just seeing also like the people connected to you do it, and seeing other people, even people you don't know. Like I said, Young Pablo, I never met him, but like just seeing the fact that other people have done it is like, I can do that too. So yeah.
We got time for a couple more. If a couple more people have questions.
Okay, so hopefully I say this right. Kintsugi. What were you researching? What made you come up with it? Where did it come from? Like,
Dang, that's so fire. Dang, that is in there, ain't it? I was reading a book. I don't know the name of the book, but I'm also an avid reader myself. So like, I love like reading dope stuff. So anyway, this person had this page in there where they were talking about this form of art, this Japanese form of art. So they talked a little bit about it, but the little bit that I read was so like dope. And the fact that I've seen plates and cups. I've seen this type of art before, never knew the name of it. Also never knew that there was a story behind this form of art. And so I started researching it and started realizing, I'm like, dang, that's like us. Kintsugi is like us. Y'all ever seen them plates or cups that they have like the gold, silver lacquer, like they've been broken but put back together with like the different, that is us. It's like, it reminded me of how we end up broken in life, and how that cup being put back together is the healed version of us, but also the breakage, the scars in the cup made it beautiful. It made it different, it made it unique, and each broken part was a story in that cup. And also you gotta think back to the fingerprint. No cup or plate is not broken the same way. They literally break this, and the art is putting it back together. So however it break is just however it break.
Wow.
So yeah, that it just reminded me of us as humans and how like we kind of like get stuck in the whole hurt, broken, dang, I feel like I'm helpless, and it's like you're not. Like this was all a part of the plan, and God can flip that and turn it into something so beautiful. So that's how I end up researching that, and that's why it's also in the book. Kintsugi. It's a Japanese form of art, kintsugi.
Any other questions that we have? Akili,
was just wondering if you would be willing to read something from your book.
I'll start with Kintsugi since we just left off on that. You
Yeah.
already on
Yeah.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. I ain't tell him to do that. That's crazy. All right, so Kintsugi is a Japanese art of repairing broken pottery by mending the areas of breakage with lacquer dusted or mixed with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. How do we find a way towards hope and healing? Wounds into wisdom. There are many beliefs and philosophies one may embrace. For the Japanese, Kintsugi is a part of a philosophy of embracing our human flaws and life's fragility. It is about celebrating imperfections. It offers an approach to life. Kintsugi teaches us that in life we can turn adversity into something that is beautiful and resilient. It shows us that in time we can heal from our wounds, embrace our imperfections, and become stronger. Kintsugi reminds us that no matter our difficulties, we can find a way to reframe and find meaning in life. Life is fragile, and sometimes our lives and dreams are shattered by unexpected events. When things fall apart in our fragile lives, there is a path forward. There is a way to find peace with our imperfections in our lives. If an object of pottery is broken, rather than discarding it, the pieces are painstakingly put together over months. Instead of trying to hide the damage, the cracks are highlighted in precious metal.
So, Janavian, the last question we have for you today is a two-parter. One, tell us the meaning behind the name, New Views, New Heights, and tell us a little bit about not only we know the name, but also the YouTube page and the other things that you're doing with New Views, New Heights.
Actually, I feel like it came from writing and journaling, and I actually did a video in reference to it like on Facebook in like 2017, and it was talking about that, and that was the name of it. But the idea is that you can only go so far as your mind. That's why so is the man thinking, so is he. That's why that's powerful, because your thoughts have power. So however you think is how far you will go. So if you change the way you see things, if you see the glass as half empty versus half full, and you look at everything in life gonna be a lot harder than it already is. And to me, understanding life is and pain is inevitable. Life don't need no help from me being harder than it is. So how do I help my thought process and helping myself get to that next level and keep going? So it's kind of like my cheat code, you know, just moving through life a little bit better. Perspective and the power that elevating that will transform your life.
All right, and what's next with the YouTube and New Views, New Heights, the brand?
I think now it's just documenting the journey of authorship and into brand, like, and the uncertainty, because I'm in uncharted territory personally. So I'm trusting the process, and I want to document that, because a lot of times we see people, especially in social media in this age, we see the highlight stuff, we see the accolades, we see all the stuff that's phenomenal and great after, but people don't really tell you the process, and a lot of times when they do, you don't really get to see it. So I think that in documenting visually my journey, that people will be inspired through the ups and downs, the good days, the bad days. You'll be able to see it all, and me figuring out what's next, because I don't know. Like I said, I'm planted on the edge of only God knows at this point, and so I'm wanting people to see that and see that if I'm doing it, you can do that too. Like, it's just really moment by moment, day by day, step by step, just you walking into what's already placed inside of you, getting out of your own way, and yeah, just trusting the process. So that's what YouTube is for me. Share more motivational messages, and yeah, that's what it is. So y'all wanna keep locked in with that. Like I said, I got the podcast interview in Atlanta next week, so I'll be vlogging and like filming different things that I have going on. So yeah, we actually live right now on YouTube, okay? So yeah.
I didn't know. You didn't tell me that.
I'm all nervous now.
Hi, YouTube. Let's clap it up one more time for the birthday.
Thank y'all. Y'all answered some good questions too.
Turn over to
Jeff, why you doing the most? Before you complain, get some dust in the road. Yeah, I got it, I've been on the road. Ever since I invested back in the past, to be honest, I've been in the mode. I've been throwing some beats like a man, but I got it on and I'm stepping every soul. I done had a few highs and lows, but you gotta know that's gonna come with the growth. I had to find the water. I'm swimming with stripes and I'm staying afloat. Can't even keep my heart, never been cold. Used to be scared, I'm just not getting bold. Thought you was lit, but you never be close. You still, you never been broke. I'm never taking the credit. I'ma just go ahead and give it to Jesus. Yeah, I'm forever indebted. Out of me, he really made it believe. I was told that I just might be a preacher. For Jesus, I'm stepping like Peter. For Jesus, I'm really letting off of my heat. He made me a holy creature. Hit my phone if you just need to a feature. I promise that I'ma rehab it. I really feel like I be in a whole different back in the night, and that's where the Miss Gladys. I cannot fall in the trap when I'm trying to tell you to do whatever make you happy. You actually base everything strictly off of your feelings. Your life really bound to be tragic. Yeah. Chill, just vibe, just keep believing, you receive it, but you gotta bring faith in the season. I'ma dance because Jesus is the reason, that the battle is already won. If you see the lesson, you better just run. Satan on down, is here we gon' start. We speak the blessing with breakfast and lunch. Relax as ever, I'm not finna front. We working demons, we been on the hunt, we catching them down every day by the bunny. I'm not the type to go blow in the bush, I've been working so heavy, if I stay the point. I'm feeling like Jesus, I'm kicking it over, I'm not trying to tank. My head was steady, but my eyes got heavy. Birds could have been deadly, but he still told me to start resting. Yeah, my actions are blocking my blessings. I was feeling the touch I was testing, but I needed the grace and he kept me. I'm a little vessel, I'm grateful to live me. Came a long way from me popping. That was my song, but I know I can drive it. That was the key to my ignition, but that ain't my image. Now I'm in the ministry. Consistency, intentionality, what I've been chasing so lately. I think that I'm getting it. Standing up, holding the standard because it's a standard. It really don't matter who feeling it. Chill, just vibe. Think so much and chill, just vibe. Stop worrying, just pray to God. Cast your burdens on God. Say the reason. You talking to you.
And it's just vibe. And you know what? I want to just quickly just talk about that song real quick. When I made that song, I was overthinking a good bit about a plethora of things, and you know in the Bible it says cast your burdens on Jesus, and matter of fact his yoke is light. And I had to realize that because I wasn't doing that. I was telling my friends that they asking me about stuff that they worried about, and I'm telling them the verse, but I'm not living by it. So I felt so convicted by that, and I had to make a song about it to really get it out. And that really was the whole inspiration. I was honestly living something that, I was preaching something that I was not living. And after that day, I could not speak what I don't live. You know what I'm saying? So from that day forward, I lived it. So that was the whole inspiration for that song. So yeah, I almost did it. That was one of the most, I liked it. I'm like, I don't know if it was, you question yourself as an artist sometimes. It's kind of like a tug of war, which, which you like it, but you don't know if everybody else gonna like it. So matter of fact, exactly what you did. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop it. I'm just gonna drop it. So yeah. So the next song is called Keep Faith, and honestly, it's self-explanatory. Keep faith. We're gonna walk it out a little. We're gonna vibe, and it's still a vibe. So vibe with me. That's it.
You feel like you are that deal, you know? And that's what Black Sugar was. You better see that I'm good for you. Let somebody know that, hey, I'm good for you. All right?